Final SOS.
Have you seen the new Club Shay Shay with Monique? The interview?
Is it funny?
That's just it's not funny, but it's like it's kind of like the Cat Williams shit where like Cat Williams is actually telling like a bunch of shit like about famous people and shit.
Did you like the Cat Williams interview?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. What I liked about it, and I know there was like Dave Chappelle came out and said some stuff, but what I liked about it is that Cat Williams only went on there to speak to the people that like kind of poked at him. Like he wasn't out there trying to air people out that weren't saying his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he went up there to talk about the people that had already been talking about that had brought him up for whatever reason. So when he came just to kind of tell his side of the story, I was like, okay, like I don't think there's nothing wrong with what you did necessarily. Like I think you're just pretty much like protecting your name. Really,
Exactly.
at that point. And I had no idea how heavy he was in the comedy game. Like I remember watching you remember Canyon?
Yeah, Kanye.
I remember me and him in elementary school, we would talk about Cat Williams. Like he would put me on to Cat Williams and stuff, and I was like, what? Like, and then I would go home, whatever, watch it. But I didn't realize how big he was back in the day. But I guess if you think about it, he's been having those comedy specials since we were that young. So think about his success.
He has like so much fucking comedy. It's not even funny. To me, honestly, he's like the GOAT. To me, I was actually having a conversation not too long ago about like, yo, who's like your favorite though? I was like having a conversation not too long ago, like, yo, who's like your GOAT comedian? With my girl and her brother, and then like they told me theirs, and then I was like, to me, it's Cat Williams. Honestly, to me, Cat Williams. Honestly, Dave Chappelle, I watched his show.
Yeah.
I never really watched his stand up. If I'm being honest, it was more so his show that I watched. I never really watched his stand up. The one comedian that I would watch his stand ups were Cat Williams, like two of George Lopez's.
George Lopez for sure. George Lopez for sure.
Who else?
I don't know why. Back in the day, I had the audio of his comedy shows.
Really?
I think my brother, someone like had bought it, and we would just listen to it like that. I was every once in a while. But yeah, George Lopez, yeah, he was.
Yeah, George Lopez, and then honestly, a bunch of like under DL Huey. Like I saw a couple of his stand ups. But honestly, to me, Cat Williams was like the funniest out of all of them. Bernie Mac was hella funny too, bro.
I like Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac was
the
hella
Bernie
funny.
Mac show was really good too. I remember when that show came out, I was like, dude, who is this guy? Like, he's really fun. I forgot who showed me that show, but it was a good show. And ever since I saw that one, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna.
What do you think about Ralph Barbosa?
You know what? I think he's funny. I never seen a full show of his, but obviously, hold it down. He's Mexican. He's from Texas. I don't know where. I think did he say San Antonio?
Is he Houston? San Antonio? You don't know?
You know who Ralph is or no?
Yeah, I know you. Yo. You know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'll make sure the levels are right. Yeah, I seen a lot of his reels. I never seen him live, but I do think he is funny.
Yeah.
I don't watch Joe Rogan often, but the one interview that I saw recently was with Ralph.
Okay.
And I thought that was actually a pretty good interview. And I saw him with Andrew Schultz also.
Yeah.
And I was
saw
like,
that
okay,
one.
this dude just seems genuine. Like he just like grew up. His story is kind of interesting though, no? Like,
yeah, it is.
Like,
it is. It really is. He's like, he was just telling me, he was just saying like a bunch of shit like about his family being in a cartel and shit.
right.
Or, like
I thought
shit
that
like
was
that.
crazy. I thought that
And I was like,
crazy.
bro, that's wild. So it's dope that he's like, raza and shit, and coming up, having his own Netflix special, bro. That shit's big, bro.
Yeah, that's like the big stamp of like approval. That is like, okay, like.
Because not everybody could get a Netflix special.
Right.
Cat Williams was saying that shit in this fucking special. Like, not everybody could get a Netflix special, bro. So I thought that shit was like hella cool.
And even of the people that do get a special, I mean, like not all of them do like extremely well. There's only so many people that get the special and then get another one and then another one.
And I feel like that's what's cool, bro. Like, to be honest, that's what's cool about like, being raza is like when you are like, Mexican and then like, or Latino, you have like this whole culture behind you. It's not even like a fan base. If I feel like if like a Mexican found out that this, Ralph was Mexican, he's gonna tune in just because he's
He's
Mexican and be like,
Mexican.
"Yo, like that's tight." He has his own Netflix special. We don't really see that often,
Right,
so
right.
they're gonna tune in and be like, "Oh, okay." And if they like him, they're gonna support him 100%.
Yeah.
Like that's what I find cool about like also like the culture and like having this whole like culture behind you and like supporting you and shit.
It's almost like an automatic sense of belonging, obviously, right? It's like
Right.
such a strong sense of identity for you that it's like when you get older and you start producing your own stuff, creating your own art, whether it's music or
Mm-hmm.
paintings or pictures, like this guy, like whatever it is, like I feel like there is that little sense of like, you're, for one, your aunts and uncles are always going to support you, right?
Exactly, and
And then
there's a
from
ton of them.
there, yeah, right, right. And then off rip, you already have like a little like fan club, and it's like, okay,
Exactly.
like that's
They're
one
like, oh,
thing.
my sobrino, like, yeah, bro, he just came out with like this fire track on, like,
Yeah, no, but I like that Cat Williams interview for sure. I didn't think, to be honest, when it was blowing up, I was like, why is it blowing up like this? Like,
yeah,
what is like the?
just fucking coming at everybody's necks,
But
bro.
I
Like, it's
still
crazy.
didn't even really understand why it blew up. Like, aside from like him coming at other comedians, I still was kind of like, what is what was the recipe there to get 30 M's in like 30
In
million
like 2 days
views in
and shit.
two
Yeah.
days? Like,
Honestly, bro, it's the fact that he's so deep in the industry that he was exposing industry ways
and you know what it
that
is
that
too?
never get exposed.
Maybe I don't even understand how big Cat Williams is. And I think that's what it is. I think I just don't even really understand how big he is, like how big of a name he is, to the point where it's like I don't understand the conglomerate Cat Williams is doing this
Right,
interview. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So when he came out, I was like, I'm gonna watch it, but or remember when you told me that, bro, did you watch it? I was like, no, I hadn't watched it.
Yeah.
But I think like 2 3 weeks after the fact, that's when
Mhm.
I went to go back and watch it, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh wait, that was actually a good interview.
Yeah,
Like
bro. And I think also it blew up because he doesn't do shit like that. Like he doesn't do interviews at all. So
I,
like for him to go on like Club Shay Shay's um podcast or YouTube channel and like have a full like hour 2 hour interview, like that's unheard of for
unheard of,
him.
yeah.
That's why people tuned in. And on top of that, also what got people tuning in was like he was exposing a bunch of like celebrities for being fake or people stealing jokes, and the way like he even was referring to Illuminati at one point. He was like, "Yo, like it's funny to see like somebody that's in the industry actually talking about saying the word Illuminati when everybody in the industry is like not saying it."
Anything at all,
So
yeah.
it's like that's
Huh.
what I feel like that's what got people tuning in.
Yeah, I don't know. I was still so confused because even when I watched it, I was like, okay, he's calling out like, bigger comedian.
Yeah.
You know what I thought was interesting though? Was that thing where he was talking about, he's like, if you sign the deal, you're gonna get a certain type of wife. You're gonna get, and I was like, what the heck? But then like, you obviously see the reels after, and it's people that piece it together and they show the
Yeah.
wives, and it's like,
He got
he's making
receipts, bro.
sense.
He's telling the truth
He's
because
making
that's really
sense.
how it is, bro. That's really how it is. Because at the end of the day, it's just he's basically saying at the end of the day, it's an image that they need to maintain to have that fame, pretty much.
When you go back and like going back to like your music, right? Like you're an artist, you mentioned already trying to grow your fan base. Like for Chris, like is that something you want to do? Like do you want to sign to a record label, or like what is that, like if you could snap your fingers and like fast forward, you have a huge enough fan base by your requirements, you could sell hard tickets, you're selling
Mm-hmm.
merch, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you signed with a label and you have a name like that, or are you staying independent and you're gonna go all the way like by yourself?
um, shit. I feel like if you ask any major like artist that's in a label, it seems to me, from my perspective, that artists that are in labels don't want to be in labels.
Yeah.
So I feel like in a snap of a finger, if I could have everything and like everything be the way I wanted, really it would be like having my own company. It's kind of like the American dream. You know how
Right,
like everybody
right.
comes over here because it's a free market.
Be your
You
own
you be
boss
your own
type.
boss. So I would love that. I would
Yeah.
love to be my own boss. I would love to have my family managing me rather than some fucking random
Random 10%,
yeah, ten
whatever.
percent. Like I would rather all that getting cuts for my daughter, like for my cousin that he works for me, so I get a tax write off, shit like
Yeah,
that. So I'd
nah,
rather have
100%.
that like independence and like have my own fan base. And I honestly, bro, if we're being realistic, I don't even want a big fan base. I don't even want to be in the limelight like fucking. I don't want to have like paparazzis being outside my house.
Nah, that's real. That's
I
real.
would
Yeah.
rather have like a solid 50K to 100K fans that are gonna consistently buy my shit, listen to my shit every month.
There was a I don't remember. I think it was Andrew Schultz. I don't remember who it was, but they were talking about something similar where it was a band, but they were talking about how the band itself
Mm-hmm.
isn't really big, but the fan base of that band is so loyal to where within the fan base itself, they exchange like collectibles from like their original tour in like the 90s, and like all of that stuff is so valuable to them within each other.
Mm-hmm.
But then the question came up was like, would you rather have like 100,000 hardcore fans that you know are gonna show up to like your shows, whatever, or like 1 million followers, 2 million followers, like,
Right.
but they're gonna be like fickle. They might not buy hard tickets.
Right.
They might
Right.
not do etc. So, but I mean, obviously, I think the answer is like you rather have like a hundred
Yeah, I'm
thousand
sure you
like
chose the latter.
real like
Yeah.
hardcore fans that like are gonna be behind everything that you do. Because at that point, and going back to your thought of like being on YouTube, showing your face more, I think today too, when you're an artist, whether like you're a photographer, whatever it is, like you have to be all encompassing. Like I think gone are the days where there's like this mystique that comes with being an artist and like people don't really know about your life. I think the most successful artists or whatever it is like people that let their fans into the life at least a little bit.
Right. And I feel like unless you're a big artist like Kanye West or like a big artist like Drake, you can have mystique. You can
Right,
you can
right,
have you
right.
can have that sense of what's he up to? Like what why doesn't he have interviews? Why doesn't he have da 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 whatever such and such? Because he already has gained his fan base. He already has gained, the popularity, the pinnacles that he wanted to reach and stuff, all the goals, all the Grammys, whatever it is. Like he's already done that. So I feel like when you establish yourself as an artist like that, you can sit back and be like, all right, I don't need to be showing my face all the
I could
time.
let it rock.
I could just drop the album and they know who I am.
J. Cole said it right, and that song I could let it rock, let it mystique, whatever he
Yep,
said.
exactly.
Hex, did you do me solid?
What up?
Could you just pass in that bottle over there?
Got you.
Factual.
Need a little re. Need a little re. This is good though, bro. Thank
Yeah,
you.
bro.
This is
Got you,
actually
dog.
real good.
Some real good wine.
So are we gonna get? You've only dropped in terms of full projects, My Abyss, right? That's the only full project you've dropped. You haven't dropped anything else
No, bro.
this year. Is there a goal
And I wouldn't
to
even consider that like a album. I would just consider that like a mixtape.
mixtape?
Yeah.
Is there a goal to drop something like full, like an EP or something this year?
The GOAT.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, bro. You just place it on the table. Exactly. Trader Joe's.
Also,
A little bit more, please. Thanks. Sauce. See, you got the waiter
I
spin.
got the spin,
Ooh,
bro. I'm telling you,
Smoochie boochies.
that's the move right there. I'll put that over here. Might as well. Um, yeah. Is there a plan to what happened? What happened? We good? We good? Is there a plan to release a full project this year?
Yeah, there is Central Coast, bro. I've been talking about this project for years. Central Coast, like for years. I've been talking about it. I've been trying to release it, and for whatever reason, I haven't released it. Life gets in the way. Um,
Free
you
Chris.
you grow as a person, and shit just life hits. For other
Yeah.
people, for me, for the people involved in the project. Life hits, and I get it. But this is the year where I really feel like it's time to just release it. And on top of that, like the songs that I have made for Central Coast were so long ago
Yeah.
that I feel like
You gotta let that go.
I gotta let it go, and I just gotta make new ones because I've I've progressed as an artist and as like a recording and stuff, and my music has like grown. So it'll be cool to just add new songs to the project and some old ones that I probably have that I feel like the fans will like.
What's good about that too, though, is I feel like for you, and obviously for them listening now, like they'll know, like, okay, these will be old tracks. But I feel like for you, you'll be able to release those thinking like, man, like I have so much new, much newer music to the point where it's you almost don't want to release it. But to everyone listening, they're gonna be like, wow, this is brand new to me. You know,
Yeah,
it's gonna be better. It's gonna sound cleaner, whatever, than the project that they were used to, which was My Abyss.
yeah.
How? What year did you release that?
20 2017, 18 maybe. So 17 I think it was.
Hmm.
2017 probably. I really can't remember, bro. Like I know it was in the beginning of a new year. I want to say it was either 2017 or 18. One of those.
What were like your standout tracks from that album or mixtape?
Boricua was like the one that got a lot of recognition. Waves was another one that got a lot of recognition. Um
When you think back to Boricua,
mhm.
how much thought was put into that one? Like, did you think it was gonna be the song that like people really gravitated to, or was it just kind of like, man, I just this is a song that I've been wanting to write for a minute. I'm gonna let it go.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. My little sister was the reason why I did that.
Oh, really?
My little sister, she was the reason why I even did the song because I was before I had like my own studio and stuff, my own setup. I basically just used to like slap it on the speakers, and I used to just freestyle whatever would come out to mind. And my little sister used to be in the same room,
Right,
so
right.
when when I was trying to come up with a hook, I was just playing around with a bunch of melodies, and then I basically was just saying Boricua Morena, and she really liked it. Like
That's funny.
that stuck with her. And then I was like, I overheard her singing it, and when I overheard her singing it, I was like, "Do you like that? Should I keep that?" And she was like, "Yeah." And that's why I
Damn.
kept it. So like, and she was right. Like she was well, back then she was like younger. She was probably like 12, 11, and if
Yeah.
it if it's if it's
Catchy
catchy for
enough.
her,
Right,
so
right.
it's gonna be catchy for other people. So that's the reason why I did it. And then I kind of had a feeling that it was gonna be a good song because it was catchy for her. So I just didn't know that people would really like it as much as they did.
Did you have the beat already for that?
Yeah, Rogue produced that shit.
Oh, did he?
Rogue produced that shit, bro.
Nah, Roki was. We were talking about like obviously him producing and stuff, and man, like when he was really in that like producer before he was even rapping, he was probably pumping out beats like no other.
Bro, he was always working, bro. Every time I used to just be in there seeing him cook and shit. And if I liked the beat, I'd be like, bro, that shit's dope. And he'd be like, oh, you like this? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right. I was like, all right, let me have it. If you don't want it, he would shoot it if he didn't want it.
Cause he was when I talked to Roki, he was telling me like he kind of put what I had already thought about you. I was like, I feel like Chris can release so much more if he wanted to. Right? Like, and I feel like you have enough tracks, but I feel like when this is something we were talking about, where it's like you're very particular about what you hear when you
Mm-hmm.
do your tracks, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like for me, like me and Hex, when you sent us not the type,
Yeah.
we were like, "What are you doing? Like, release this now!" Like, that, but you're like, "No, it's not ready," and I was like, what are you talking about? Like this is clean. Like what I remember when you
Yeah.
said like this is damn near like if I heard this on the radio, this would be fire. Like
Right.
because but you heard things that we didn't listen to.
Right.
What do you think is about that process? Like, do you ever think about like, man, I should be a little bit more like loose with that, or do you think like that's part of your process that you don't think you'll change?
Um, I don't know. I don't know if it'll I feel like I don't know if it'll change. I don't maybe probably not, but I feel as if there is times where when I have a song and maybe I'm overthinking it too much, there is times where I'm like, all right, maybe I am overthinking it. Let's just whatever. But there is times where I'm just like, nah, it actually really doesn't sound good. Like the song Not the Type, there was things that needed to be tweaked. Like there was things that needed to be tightened more and sound more like cohesive and sound in pocket with the beat
I did
because
notice the difference.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
then
did
like
notice the difference.
once it's like mastered, shout out Cool Star, man, because he really
Yeah,
he just really knows how to do his shit, like.
yeah.
And I've learned everything from him. Like, to be honest, how to listen to something, like how to listen to certain things, or if something's peaking, or if something doesn't sound good, if something sounds too muffled. Like I learned that stuff from him,
Yeah.
and he's like a really great engineer, producer.
Yeah.
That dude does it all.
Did he do all of My Abyss?
Yeah, he was the executive producer on that shit.
What was the first track you had off that mixtape?
Waves.
Oh yeah, is that the first
Waves.
one you released?
Yeah. That was the
Wow.
first one because I remember I had liked a sample that Roke had sampled, but I think Roke was gonna use that sample or that beat or something like that, and then he didn't end up using it. So Mohammed was like, "So if you're not gonna use it, then let me just get that sample off your hands and I'll reproduce it, you know, and add my touch to it." So Cool got the sample. He reproduced it. He played it for me, and I was like, bro, this shit's dope. Like, I gotta get on it. And he was like, yeah, bro, I made it for you, so just get on it. And then yeah, we made that shit, and I played it. I played it for him. I played it for Rogue. I played it for the homie David Rivers. Um, and they were all like, yeah, bro, that's the one you gotta release first. And I was like, all right.
That was your first video too, huh?
Yeah, that was the first
Damn,
video, and
bro.
then it's like,
Yeah.
yep,
I was watching that video the other day and I was like, this looks young as fuck.
bro.
Like super young.
I was skinny, bro.
Yeah, you were super young right there.
Skinny.
That was after high school? Yeah.
Yeah, I was probably like 19, 20.
Damn, okay, so that was like a little bit after high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a good video though. I like who recorded that?
Same person, Ethan.
Okay, okay.
Same
I don't
person
know
that
him,
did
huh?
what? I don't know. He went to I don't know. His name's Ethan. Ethan Costa, I think.
Yeah, I don't know
He
if I
might be younger than us.
What do you think is one thing that, the people watching and listening at home need to know about you to have a better understanding of who Chris is?
Okay. Just that I'm a simple dude, bro. Like I'm not too I'm not very extroverted. I'm not really like out there in a sense where like I'm gonna do a bunch of shit for like the likes and the popularity or the fucking or the fame. Like I'm not that type of dude. Like I'm really just simple, relaxed, cool, like sip a little wine with the homies.
Right, right, right.
But around the homies, around the people that I love and care for, like I'm just like a goofball, bro. Like I just be really fucking goofing
It's
goofing
funny too
around,
though, bro,
bro.
because even in like junior high and high school, like you weren't, I would say like that's what you were like. Like you weren't really the type to like speak out in class. Like even in
Mm-mm.
the hallways, how like we saw you, like you didn't really say much, like unless you really knew you, like whatever we talked to you on the side or something.
Mm.
Then, but like even then, I feel like you were probably like the same then too.
Yeah, bro, and that's just like I don't know. That's just like in my DNA, bro. Like I'm not really like I'm gonna stand on what I believe in for sure. Like I'm gonna stand on what I believe in, and like I'm gonna be firm on that shit. But as far as like getting attention and like being loud and obnoxious, like nah, bro. I'm just a simple dude. Like I'm gonna be nice. If you say what's up, I'm gonna say what's up back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, bro. I'm just like when I need to listen, I listen. When I need to talk, I talk, and I'm slow to anger. Like that's just how I am.
Nah, I feel that, bro. Yeah, I remember in high school, you were always like mellow, bro. Like
Yeah.
it was never no like it took a lot to like hear you like, oh, Chris did this, Chris that. Was like you never heard of like
Right.
nothing really
Exactly.
like in the main.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I just honestly when I first started doing music, like I did it as a like um because I was just interested in it. I saw my older brother doing it and I was like, "What? That's dope. Like you just say a bunch of
Fire.
words and put them together
Right, right.
over a beat. That's cool." And then it wasn't until I got into high school I was still trying to pursue music and do something just for my liking, just for my satisfaction, not for anybody else. Um, but I didn't have the resources, and then I found the resources and I did it, and then people that were in there recording with me liked it and they saw talent and they were like, "Bro, put it out. It doesn't matter if people don't like it. Like I think it's good. If you think it's good, put it out." And I put it out and people were receptive to it and they liked it. So,
Dang. So slowly but surely, you were just kind of like, when did you? What was your first song? You remember like the one that you put out? Probably old, huh?
damn. The first song that I ever put out was probably like fuck. I really don't remember. It could be a couple. It was probably like this one song that I had called Word on Road, um, or a Cool Star one. I really no, actually, it might have been Word on Road first, and then I did stuff with Cool Star. But I really couldn't tell you.
You had some tracks on SoundCloud that are like not there anymore, right? That you take down.
Yeah, there's a bunch that I don't
What
have.
makes you take them down?
Me, just
I
I
don't
don't
like
like
them
them.
anymore.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
like. I feel like I sound too I sound too kiddish, or I sound like I sound weird, or the mix is horrible, or like the 808 is so off note for whatever reason.
yeah, just whatever reason you just take it
Yeah,
down. Preference type.
yeah, pretty
Yeah, bro.
much.
This year I think is the year we gotta get you on DSPs for sure, bro. Like we gotta get
Definitely.
that like distributed to everyone. I think it's just convenience right now. You know, like
Yeah,
convenience is the number one thing.
that's true.
Did you watch the Grammys?
Yeah, I watched some clips of it. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't watch it live either. I mean, I watched like Jay-Z speech, of course.
Jay-Z speech. Okay,
Yeah, that was good. I saw what else did I watch? That was it actually.
just the Jay-Z speech.
Just the Jay-Z speech. I'm trying to think of
What
what
do you
else
think
I saw.
about? What do you think about his speech?
I mean, it was good. I mean, he's looking out for his wife, right? So
Right.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
I'm never gonna hate on that.
Exactly. His
I
family
think that guy has just so many
accolades and stuff.
he has a lot of accolades, but I think he has such a larger plan in mind that we don't ever really know
Right.
what he's doing. Like I think he's so tied in with like so many people. Damn, this one is getting me, bro. Low blood pressure. I gotta check my fucking blood pressure. What the fuck? Nah. I think he's so tied in with some of those other people where it's like we won't really know what he's doing like until it's like 5 years from now. I think the same thing with like Kanye West and like all these
Yeah.
people. Like when we see something now, it's like we don't really even know what it really means. Cause you ever remember old interviews of Kanye West where he's like, "I'm giving you a smile now, but I'm cracking you a frown for 2024 or something." And it's like,
Yeah.
bro, what are you saying right now?
Yeah.
Like he knows what he's about to do, but no one else really has an expectation
Right.
for what's gonna happen or like what he's gonna do. But obviously, he's so set on 5 years from now, 10 years from now, to the point where it's like he doesn't even care about what's going on right now.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like honestly, I feel like Jay-Z wasn't saying anything new. I mean, I'm glad he said it, but honestly, I feel like he wasn't saying anything new that artists didn't
Didn't
already
know
know.
already.
Yeah, like maybe Taylor Swift doesn't need another Grammy. Yeah, maybe whoever doesn't need another Grammy. Like that's why they did Killer Mike. Like Killer Mike won that Grammy and stuff. Like that was like one of the first to ever like really show love to somebody who's really about hip hop lyrics and shit like that. So
I'm surprised he won. I'll be honest. I didn't think he
yeah,
was gonna get it.
yeah.
I mean, I think he deserved it, but I didn't think he was gonna get it. I know Kendrick. What song was that? I think it's Hood Politics, but I didn't think he was gonna get it. I know Kendrick. What song was that? I think it's Hood Politics actually, where Kendrick he had that bar in there, like he says something like you missed when like something was rapping, like whatever,
Hmm.
whatever. Like then Killer Mike would be platinum, like or something. I know he has that
Oh,
bar in there, and
that
Hood
was To
Polit.
Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
Pimp a
yeah, I
Butterfly.
remember.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
he has that bar in there for sure. I know he was probably celebrating, but
and it was a true bar, bro. Like if real rap was popular, then he would be platinum. Like
and again, it's just like it's just whatever they want to make go. Like whoever the powers that be want to make that go, like they're gonna push the button on it, just like we hear everyone say,
it's funny
and it's
because
gonna go.
I saw a video talking about like how you even get into being in the category.
Right.
So first you got to be in the club, in the Grammy, like in part of that club.
Like have a tie-in with someone who
Yeah, have a
votes on the
tie-in with
board. Yeah.
someone, and then they pretty much listen to it, everything from top to bottom. They criticize it on like lyrics, beat choice, the body work, and it isn't. It's all personal preference about
Yeah.
them and
It's all
stuff.
subjective.
So it's pretty much not anybody could get in. It's still these handful of selected people that are still judging your body work. So it really
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like that's why I say like what Jay-Z was saying is nothing new. Like it doesn't matter if these people are accepting your like your artwork. Like it's a handful of people.
Right, right, right.
But
Going
like
back to what we were saying, like you got to know, are you doing it for yourself, for sport?
hmm
I mean, again, going back to like one of the big three, right? Like, but like J. Cole, like he has a song, I don't remember what it's called, but at the beginning, it's like, I don't remember exactly what the clip says, but it says something like, "Are you doing this to be great or to facilitate growth or something like that?"
hmm
Right? And it's the truth. Like, are you doing it to really grow, to push yourself, or are you doing it because you have some sort of expectation that might not ever get fulfilled? And
right.
I think that's where you gotta decide within yourself, like, what am I doing this for? Really, am I trying to do this? Am I trying to do that? And that's ultimately, I think, where people get let down is your expectation is here,
Exactly.
and when your reality doesn't meet it, that's where you kind of start having the lackluster kind of experience of like, man, I'm not that well. It's like maybe just drop your expectation or just don't have one. Period. Like know that you're doing it for sport purely.
Exactly.
Let me ask you something, Chris. This is just a wild one that I've been speculating in my own head and something
Bring
that I
it.
thought about, but I figure I'll throw it on you like just to ask. Do you think it's more important to have, and obviously we've heard this like been asked before, but do you think it's more important to have loyalty or respect?
Um I think they both fall in the same category though.
They kind of play off on one another, yeah.
They play, yeah, I feel like they play off on one another. Because if you have respect for someone, you're gonna eventually be loyal to them. Um, and if you're loyal to somebody, I think respect more so.
Once you talk it out, it's kind of like you said, like if you respect them, you'll probably be loyal to them. But you can, I guess, kind of be loyal to someone or something.
But then again, you can respect anybody and not know them. You know what I mean?
For sure, for sure.
Um, Loyalty. Yeah, I would say loyalty because I mean, loyalty, like it's like marriage, bro. Like you got to be loyal in marriage. You're not always gonna be like happy with your partner and stuff.
You guys
Like
gonna have ups and downs in a
ups and downs,
relationship.
but you got to be loyal to them. You know what I mean,
Speaking of relationships, bro, like what has fatherhood been like for you, bro?
bro? So much. It's so much emotions into being a freaking dad, bro. Like the one that comes to mind is tiredness. Tired. I'm
Yeah,
tired.
bro,
I'm tired.
I can't even think about having like
It
I couldn't imagine rather like having a
right.
child.
But honestly, bro, it's the most like underrated thing ever to be a dad,
You
and
think so?
it's like so like all the people that are saying like I don't want kids ever. I don't. No, they're lying, bro. They're lying. Cause even I was like that at one point. I was like, I don't ever want kids. Like I'm cool with just being like a single person, like enjoying my life. I like going places without having, the responsibility of taking care of somebody else. But it comes to a point where you reach a certain age, and not everybody. I'm just speaking of like experience and like uh my perspective.
Yeah,
It comes to a point at a certain age where like you're gonna get tired of doing all this shit by yourself. You're gonna get tired of like um going to fucking eat at restaurants by yourself, or
going to the club
going to
like
the club
that
by
shit gets
yourself,
old
like
at some
because I'm
point.
sure like the homies you got are gonna end up having a baby and then not be able to chill with you.
Right,
So at some point you're gonna start realizing like, all right, maybe it is time, maybe it isn't,
settle
maybe
down
I
tight.
should settle down, maybe I should. So it's like I feel like the people that say that are just they're in a different mindset, but wait a couple years, it's gonna change.
It'll change, yeah.
But overall, though, being a dad is it's a lot of emotions in one. I love it. I'm tired, but I wouldn't trade
I
it.
love it. I'm tired.
I love it. I'm tired. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, bro.
I think
Like,
it's one of those things where like having a kid obviously is very like front loaded, like and like the first few years are gonna be like crazy, but obviously as they get older, I mean not to say it's gonna get easier, right?
yeah,
But I mean obviously there's less things that you have to do manually for your child. Like they'll learn how to like obviously take care of themselves a little bit, eat by themselves, etc. So right
yeah,
now it's probably like the
and
brunt end of it.
it teaches you a lot of things, bro. Like being a parent and a father is like it teaches you a lot of things. It shows you a lot of things of like you're really just looking at a mirror, bro. Like
Your child.
my daughter's only it's not even a year old, but um it's crazy because I see things of myself in her already. The silliness that she has because she loves it when I'm silly with her, and I'm a silly dude. Like I know
Right,
that
right.
her mom is also a very silly person, so I'm just like looking at her. I'm just like, bro, like this is really both of us in one little human. It's so crazy, but it teaches you a lot of things. Patience, like so much patience, bro. It teaches you a lot of patience. You got to be patient with them, and it's difficult, bro. But I love it. I wouldn't trade it.
Yeah, I think too, even with just seeing my nephew grow up, like it's just my nephew, not my son, but it's my nephew, he's my godson. But even just seeing him, I feel like day after day, I see the little pieces that he has of me, of my brother, of my parents, his grandparents, like
Yeah.
his mom. Like I see his little personality like form, and I'm like, wow, dude. Like I knew you when you couldn't talk.
Yeah,
Like now that
bro.
you could talk, like you're saying jokes by yourself, like he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make a handshake with me, and it's like, man, like that.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we have like every time I see him now, he wants to. We do it over FaceTime and
And
stuff.
how old
Sometimes.
is he now?
He's older now. He's
Six?
six,
Yeah, man.
six. Yeah, no,
Like
he's 6. He's going on 7. He'll be
time goes
7
by
this year.
so fast, bro.
Yeah, I
Like
remember when he was
so
born, bro.
fast.
Like it was just like crazy. But to see another little like human grow,
Yeah.
especially like if it's your seed, like
Yep.
I feel like that's an experience that I think I'm looking forward to, but I know it'll come when it's time. I believe in
Yeah.
time. Like we were just saying right now at the beginning, right? Like I believe in timing. Like I think it's just timing when it happens. I think it'll happen and it'll be the right time for it to happen. But
Yeah, definitely. Like God's timing is perfect timing, bro.
yeah.
Like, but yeah, being a father, bro. Like seeing how fast time passes and shit. Like it's crazy to see how fast she's growing. Like she's almost one. Like I'm just like, damn, already.
Damn.
And it's wild. But yeah, man, fatherhood is the best thing ever, bro. It's like one of the most important jobs anybody is ever gonna have.
It's crazy, bro. I don't know why. Just again thinking like just connecting with like you, reconnecting with you and just seeing like, like your dad. Like I don't know why. It's just such a like eye-opening thing for me. I'm just like, wow, like he has a whole ass kid
Bro,
over
it's
there,
crazy.
like
Even sometimes I'm just like, bro, you're really my daughter. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah,
really
yeah.
my
Like you're
daughter.
like nah, straight up.
But yeah, man, it's cool. Definitely want to have more though.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely want to have more. It's like I said, it's a cool thing to do. Like once you experience it firsthand, it's gonna be a lot of work. Don't get me wrong, but once you experience it firsthand, you're just gonna like it. You're just gonna love it. You're just gonna be like, bro, like this is really cool. Like you get to do everything and anything with like your family, bro.
What was the biggest like? What was the biggest learning curve like post having your daughter? What was like the biggest like wow like oh I do this now like what was the biggest thing you had to learn or where something hit you like last minute where you were like man I gotta be on this now.
Um,
I feel like I think about that stuff sometimes like
yeah,
and I'm
I
like
would say
wow
I would say the way you carry yourself would
yeah
be would be the biggest thing, cause your kid is just a reflection of yourself, bro, and they imitate everything you do, bro. So it's like the way you carry yourself is something that really just
Gonna rub off.
Just yeah, it was just something that was like, oh damn, I gotta, you know, be a better version of myself. I got to like, show my daughter a different way. I have to like work 2 times harder or 10 times harder to go and get it to support her and to take care of her. But I would say it's just the way you carry yourself, bro. All in all, like the way you as your the way you behave, your job, like everything all around, you just have to, you know,
Double down.
and be a better version of yourself, bro. Like that's really what it takes.
Is it tough being out? I mean, obviously we're both in LA, right? Like we're both from Santa Barbara type. Like,
Hmm.
but for me, I know there's times where like I'll go back home, and like I enjoy those moments with my family, and obviously and we're not far, right? It's not like we're a flight away from our family, like we're a
Right.
drive away from our family. But
Hmm.
is it hard being away from like your family sometimes, where like you're in LA and there's times where like something where you're like, man, like I wish I was in SB. Like really, the question being like, do you miss SB?
Yeah, like everybody always gets homesick, bro. I think now I miss it a different way in the fact that I would want my daughter to be around my family because I have a really big family, like a really big family. You know how many siblings and brothers I have, bro. Like I have cousins.
Yeah,
I
no
didn't even
shit.
know were my
Right,
cousins,
right, right.
um, uncles and stuff. All that live like in SB up north. So yeah, like I miss it in a different way where I wish I lived closer so that she can be raised with my niece and they can grow up with each other or
Play and stuff.
and play and stuff. Or I miss it in a way where like I wish my sisters could carry my daughter more often so that my daughter isn't like when
Who is
when yeah,
it?
like who is this and
Right,
stuff.
right,
Like that's the way I miss it now. But before having my daughter, like I'd miss it like, yeah, I want to go see my family, I want to go by the beach, I want to go
yeah,
fucking go eat here.
right, right.
But now it's just different because now it's mainly more because of her. I was like, dang, I wish I could
Yeah.
show her like, oh, this is where I went to high school, this is where I went to elementary, this is where
Funny, I was thinking about that a little bit more recently because my brother and his fiance are about to have their son. So I
Hmm.
think they're expecting in late May, early June.
Okay.
And I was thinking about my nephew because me and my nephew, man, he's just like A1, that dude. Like, I'm so
Yeah.
excited to see him get older, you know. So like, I'm
Yeah.
so excited about this nephew too.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it more just because I'm out here now. But for my nephew that's 6 right now,
Yeah.
I was still in Santa Barbara when he
Okay.
was young.
Yeah.
So up until the time when he was maybe, I don't even know, maybe like 4, 5, maybe 4, I
Hmm.
was still seeing him, pretty much daily,
Okay.
So for me and him, we grew up like he knows exactly who I am, like we always got along, like I
Hmm.
remember like taking care of him, like feeding him, taking him to the
Hmm.
park, whatever. But then I think about my new nephew on the way, and I'm like, man, like I'm gonna have to, again, we're not far by any means, like a
Yeah.
flight,
Yeah.
but you do kind of have to plan your day around, like you can't go to Santa Barbara and then do something else over here. Like
Hmm.
pretty much if you go over there, that's your day.
Right.
So I think about like, man, like that's gonna be more of like of a plan and like more of a priority I'm gonna have to have if
Right.
I want that relationship with, and not to say I wouldn't have a relationship, but something that I want to be a part of is what
Right.
I'm saying.
Exactly. Like
You
see
want to
his
be in their life.
yeah, see his growth and see like the all the stepping stones they need to reach. Yeah, bro. That's the same way I feel, man. Like
And then
it's cool,
wait until your daughter starts playing sports or something, though, bro.
man.
Like I just saw my nephew play soccer for the
Really?
first time. Oh my god, it's like the best thing ever, bro. I don't know why it's so funny. Like
He's about to be nice.
yeah, no, bro. I saw when he scored a goal. I feel like I scored a goal. I was like,
Really,
"Whoa!" We were
bro?
yelling, like we were
Man.
going crazy. Like
And he
yeah,
wanted to play soccer? Like
yeah. That was him. He was like,
that
"I
was
want to play
him?
soccer," and
Okay.
then his parents signed
Yeah.
him up and stuff. But Yeah, that was all him. He was like, "That's what I want to play." We got him like cleats and stuff. You know, he was all hype. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
bro.
like
That's
putting
cool
all
how
this
they gave
stuff.
him. That's cool how they gave him a, like, they let him choose. I
Yeah,
feel like I want to do the same thing too. I'm gonna do the same thing with her. I'm gonna let her choose what she wants to do, like what interests her, like whatever it be, whether it be like basketball or even if it's not sports. What if it's like ballerina or something? Music,
music, like
whatever it may be,
instruments.
like something that keeps her disciplined and teaches her how to focus at a young age. I feel like is very important because growing up, like growing up, I didn't like. I came from a single mom. Like my mom was single. She didn't have a man in her life, so um, I didn't really have the luxury of telling my mom, "Oh, I want to play soccer. I want to play basketball," because my mom couldn't afford it. She had so many kids she had to like take care of that she couldn't afford. Like, all right, I gotta go get you your cleats. I gotta go get your uniform. I also gotta pay this club this much money monthly,
Right, like
yearly,
how you gonna do that?
and exactly. So, I had to do other things and stuff and
You kind of
indulge.
just took what you got, and
Yeah,
you were like appreciative of it, like you didn't
yeah,
want to ask too much type.
pretty much because we
Yeah,
were so many in one household that you know it was just difficult for a single parent to even manage all of her kids, even if she wanted to manage or if she had the means. Being a single parent and picking up your 5 kids from soccer practice or basketball, and then you got to go over here to pick your daughter up from dance class, it'll just be it'll be a lot.
yeah. No, my girl, she had her brothers out in the East Coast,
Hmm.
but her they have 3 kids,
Okay.
and when we visited a handful of times now, but um it's just interesting to see them too because one of them does like football and soccer. They'll be doing it,
Hmm.
and then the youngest one plays soccer, but then the other one has like track and field, and it's like
Their
the times are
schedule,
crazy. So
bro.
no, I get you, bro. But also growing up too, I mean, I think there's something interesting and something like I think probably something that people like you and I share where it's like when we grow up,
Yeah.
we're not necessarily growing up like with a plethora of money, and not to say we were like homeless or anything,
Right.
but we just kind of took what we got. We were thankful for it, but there was no time to be like, oh, what are you interested in?
Hmm.
Like, do you want to do extracurricular activity?
Exactly,
You
bro.
want to play piano, or you want to? It was just
Yeah.
like we were just getting by day, and like
Exactly.
whatever you did, like that was good. But I think that's the benefit to having so for one, getting older, right? Like I think for me, as I started getting older, I started getting a job, having money and things like that. It was kind of like, okay, like now I have a say of what channels I want. Like you get to do things like even just like this. Like this
Yeah.
is something that I want to do or that I want to like look into.
Yeah.
So you can do it now. And I think like for your daughter too, that's something that now
Mm.
you can just show her like, hey, like if you want to, you have the option. You don't have to, but if you want to do something else, like, and I'm sure it'll come up. Like, I'm sure she'll express interest, like you said, in dance or,
Hmm.
I have younger cousins that were
Exactly.
into dance, that were into, music, that were into more sports, that were into, whatever it might be. So, I think it's just time, time
Exactly.
to let her grow and develop a little bit.
Man, it's just crazy to see how much she's just like learning, bro. It's so much that she's learning, so much she's doing so fast. Like I wouldn't put it above her that she's already walking like before she even reaches like 12 months, bro, cuz she's just like zooming back and forth in her
Yeah,
little walker, back and forth, bro,
that's how
zooming,
it
zooming,
starts,
bro. I'm
bro.
just
That's
like,
how it
man.
starts.
And it's crazy because people see her and they're just so surprised, like, oh my God, how old is she? Like, she's barely about to be 9 months and she's picking herself up and like leaning against stuff and like hopping up and down. Like, bro, she's doing all this at 8 months. Like, and they're just so stunned. And I'm just like, yeah, bro, she's just, and I also think not only is it her, but it's a lot of her, but it's also this next generation that is just, that is they're they're named Generation Alpha for a reason, bro. Because they're so advanced now, and I see it firsthand. Like
We're talking about this. Yeah, I remember talking
with
about
my
this.
niece, bro. I see it with them, and I'm just like, bro, like these babies are just so advanced now because my little, we don't let her use our phone
Yeah.
or any technology devices,
Okay.
but she sees whenever she like sees our phone and she grabs it without us knowing, she knows already how to like do this, like how to like move the screen And I'm just like, we're just so stunned. We're like, dude, she already knows how to do this, and like we never. I mean, she sees us do it all the time,
Yeah.
but the fact that she picked up on it
And she knew.
and she
That might
knew,
even be, I wouldn't doubt that's like Apple knew to have the behavior go like this,
yeah,
because that might be something that we know instinctually
instinctually,
from like
right? Exactly, bro. And it's
being
I
born.
find that so crazy. Just it's wild, man. This next generation is really gonna be so. Her generation is just really gonna be so advanced, bro. And I just can't wait to see what they accomplish and she accomplishes.
Growing up with so many siblings, what was that like, bro? Like, did you get along with all of them, or was it like sometimes where like you guys were like beefing heavy, or
Yeah, yeah, all that, all the above, bro. We'd get along. We always knew, but at the end of the day, we always knew we like loved each other and cared for each other.
that was never in question?
That was never in question. No, like if there was something that like if there was some shit that needed to be handled, like they were there, like we were there. But all the above, bro. Like I grew up around all men, like all dudes, bro. All like imagine a household of just testosterone. One little sister, bro. One little sister and one older sister that didn't live with us, like in the household.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of dudes. Like I grew up around like a bunch of, just a bunch of dudes. So yeah, there was times we'd argue. There's times we'd fight. There's times we'd, push and fight. But and then there'd be times we didn't talk to each other because we were mad at each other.
That's some other shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we always were like, all right, I care for you, my brother. Like, um,
We still love each other.
yeah, exactly. We still, but growing up with that many siblings, bro. Like I said, it's cool. I think it's cool because you just have like a sense of community, within your family because it's like they're so big, the family's so big that you just feel like, oh, I don't really need nobody outside of this.
I'm happy you said that, because growing up, and I don't know if it was ever just me, but growing up, I don't know why, but it was so hard for me to mix like friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
Like the thought of it was so foreign for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because growing up I had so much, so it's always just been my brother and I, but
Mm-hmm.
we've had so many cousins
Mm-hmm.
that we all just like grew up together, because especially for us, like when we were younger,
Mm-hmm.
if every weekend it was like a birthday or a baptism or a graduation or a first communion or a quinceañera or
Mm-hmm.
a wedding,
Mm-hmm.
or just something to that extent where it was like a get together, and it was a party, and there was gonna be good food, and there was gonna be drinks, and you knew your cousins were gonna be there. So we were always playing tag, or just getting into something reckless. But for me, bro, like growing up, I know it was a party, and there was gonna be good food, and there was gonna be drinks, and you knew your cousins were gonna be there. So we were always playing tag, or just getting into something reckless. But for me, bro, like growing up, my sense of belonging was always like with my cousins, and it
Right.
was never anywhere else. Like that's why, like at school, sometimes like I feel like I obviously, like for me, like I feel like during that time, like I was just kind of like outlandish, like class clown type, like talk like crazy. So I was cool with everyone really, but I
Yeah.
feel like with my family, like I feel like that's where I cared about the most, and that's where I fit in the most.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So everything else just came second to me.
Right.
Like I didn't really care if I was cool with
And yeah,
everyone in
everyone. Yeah,
school. Like, and
exactly.
not that I was trying to have problems or anything, but if I didn't get along with someone, or whatever it was, I didn't think twice about it, because I was like,
Yeah,
this is just something else for me. Like I have my
exactly.
family back home. That's
Right.
funny that you say that, because I never really thought that anyone really
No,
had
yeah,
the same. I
definitely,
had a
bro.
similar experience.
Exactly. And then it's the same way, bro. Like to piggyback off you, like the same way. Like I had so many families and cousins where it's just like, bro, like I also have good close friends that I consider family and stuff. But
Exactly,
it's like
exactly.
I didn't really need that many friends. I had like maybe like five close best friends that I can consider family. Growing up. And other than that, I wasn't tripping because I was like, I got so much family, and all my family is like super loyal to the soil, bro. Like if I ever needed anything, like my cousins from up north, my cousins from down south, from everywhere, they were just like, bro, you need anything, we got you. Like, bro, I know we live miles away, but like if you need it, we got you. This and the
Not gonna
third.
think twice about it.
Exactly. And it's just like I thought that shit was dope. And the fact that my daughter, that we live out here, and like I was earlier, so we were talking about like missing home. That's the one thing that I would want her to feel, like
Sense
the
of
sense of like community within your own family, where it's like, damn, I got all these family members like that really love me and want to see me grow and got my back through everything because they're blood. um
right.
that's the way that I miss back home. But I know, God willing, everything is going to work out the way it is,
The way it should,
the
or
way
the
it
way it
should.
needs to, you know? I
Exactly.
think the same thing. Like, I think even thinking back to moving out here and things like that, I feel like it all serves its purpose. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I feel like sometimes you need that change of speed, that change in life, the change
Yep.
and scenery to have different experiences. I mean, if it was up to me, of course, like you'd always have family around, you know? Like I think it's really hard to for one replicate it and for one to replace it.
Yep.
And I know for everyone it's different, right? Like some
Exactly.
people don't really like their family, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
like that's on you.
That's
But I
that's
mean, for
personal.
what I'm trying to say is like I think there is some merit in like kind of replicating that somewhere else. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think when I think about Santa Barbara and just everyone that's over there, I feel like yeah, that is the one thing where I'm like, man, like I wish I just had that accessible to me, where it was just like on the flip of a dime, like because there's so many times where I'm sure for you too, where it was like on midday week or something like Wednesday, oh, we're gonna go to your madrina's house for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just you would get hyped for it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
would get hyped for it, and you knew that if you were going, like at least one other tia was, and you
Yeah.
knew like your cousins were
Their
gonna be there.
cousins
You
were
know
gonna
what
be
I mean?
there. All
So,
that shit,
or
bro.
you had if you had a relative over, like from Mexico, or
Mm-hmm.
like you said, down south or down
Yep.
north, you knew that was gonna be like a get together, which was like a mini party.
Mm-hmm.
So there was always gonna be good food there. Your cousins were
Yep.
gonna be there. You guys were gonna be messing around.
Exactly.
Like
Bro, it's
on a
crazy.
school night, on a school night, that's a vibe right there. I fuck with that.
Yeah, bro. And same way, bro. Like meeting up cousins and like going to their parties, seeing our cousins that I fuck with, like that are cool. That shit was always fun, bro. Like always fun, especially when we had like little get-togethers. Like those shits would get lit, jumping.
Here, use this.
NLSOS.